Hey, how you guys doing? This is the producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to the Dey Over 40 podcast for long time, long suffering Cincinnati Bengals fans. Day, everybody. We are 4 games into the season, and the Bengals have gotten to 2-2. We're going to talk about that on the line tonight. Before I get into all that, it's Big Hutch. What's happening, man?
What's up?
Before we get shouts out, Sandman. We kind of forget to do this every time, but we need to remind that. Shouts out, Sandman. We miss you. We love you, brother. Hopefully you'll be back on here sometime soon. All right, so yeah, y'all might be like, well, where these dudes been? It's been like a month. We have a fairly standard tradition here is when the Bengals lose, we don't record
When
because
you say we,
one,
you mean you.
yeah, me, yeah, because I just don't, feel like doing it for the most part. We did it after week 1 because I think we were in what shock that how they lost that game and everything that went down and all that went into it. So we just didn't. Then when week 2 came, it was another kick in the balls, where we lost to the Cowboys on the last second
Lost to the
again.
Cowgirls.
Yeah, after having an opportunity to win that game, playing against a backup quarterback that we made look amazing in the first half, like a Bengals tradition.
Down
And
14.
yeah, I mean, it was just like, I'm not doing this. And to be fair, cards on the table, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm not devoting my time, energy, efforts, definitely not my money to the Bengals when this is what I'm getting out of it. I'm not getting any enjoyment out of it. So I muted all my people on freaking Twitter and that. I stopped watching sports. I dropped all my podcasts. I was just like, I'm done for 2 weeks or for a week, and then the Jets game comes around, the Bengals win that, get to 1-2. Did I watch it? Nope. Did I pay any attention to it? Nope. I found out when it was over. Okay, bet. And then we have the turnaround game with the Dolphins here this past Thursday night. And the Bengals win, 27-12 or 15 or whatever it was, and then get back to 500. And then now we're back. 2 wins, we're back. It's like our recording schedule is like the Dragon Show, huh? Got to get 2 dubs for us to start recording. What have you been doing these 2 weeks after the first 2 L's?
I've watched all the games been on TV except for the Jets game.
Mm-hmm.
So I've watched them. So and the first two, we definitely know about the first two. The Jets. I think I'm cursed when I watch them. So
Yeah,
and that might be part of it. So I didn't watch the
yeah,
Jets game. They won.
yeah. I feel a little bit of that too. I did not watch the Jets game, obviously, and didn't watch the game on Thursday night. Even though
I
it was
didn't
on
watch that
Prime, I
one.
have Prime. I'm like, no, I'm not bothering with that. And I woke up at, I don't know, it's like 12:30, quarter to one, and I grabbed my tablet, and I was like, oh, they won, and I knew my son was up. That would be Goat Killer. Shouts out Goat Killer. And I knew he was up because they didn't have school the next day, and they're playing PlayStation. And I'm like, what happened? And then that's when he proceeded to tell me about Tua. But we're gonna talk about that here. So let's set the show. Bengals win again, 2-2. We'll talk about the Thursday night game. Definitely got to talk about Tua. We're gonna do a what we liked and what we disliked. First 4 games of the season, what we've seen, what we liked and disliked. Then we're gonna look at the next 4 games on the schedule, and then we'll swing it around the AFC North to wrap up. So yeah, Thursday night, Bengals win 27-15. I did watch it on the replay. Bengals come out hot, score a touchdown. Defense pretty much carries them until it gets later on. The Bengals win,
We
as the
gave up a
Dolphins are
we gave up a
driving.
touchdown at the end of the half. That's common.
Yeah, it's a common. Yeah, but they also the only touchdown they've given up in the last 11 quarters. So and we'll get to likes and dislikes, but obviously the defense is carrying the team right now as the offense had, I would call these preseason struggles, Hutch. It looks like a team that hasn't played a game since the Super Bowl. That's basically what it looks like.
I think the wide receivers are ready,
Mm-hmm.
but the other and I think the tight I like Hayden Hurst all of a sudden. That he if they
Mm-hmm.
throw the ball to him, he kind of catches it.
Right.
The offensive line is PU still.
Right. Yeah. Can't run the ball. And again, that's the like and dislike. We'll come up to it in a second. But yeah, this Thursday night, the offensive line played well. They only gave up the 1 sack. But the offense was just, and again, it'll be a like and dislike, just sputtering, man. And big plays are saving it, which is kind of what saved it last year too. You need these big plays. Teams have made a conscious decision to not let Jamar Chase beat them.
Nope.
There was some coverage on the All 22 that Goat Killer showed me today. Four people rotated to Jamar Chase on that touchdown that T. Higgins caught.
Right.
Four people,
Yeah.
to try to bracket him, and which
It
left
works.
T wide open. And that's it. If he's going to do that, eventually the coverage is going to have to start shifting someplace else. You're not going to be able to cover everybody with all these people. But yeah, so they win. Got to talk about what happened to Tua. Okay, so I live in South Florida, so I see and hear about the Dolphin stuff. Tua did not have a great couple of first years there. Was not liked by the coach that didn't draft him. It was just a mess. So now when he's finally got a coach that believes in him, he's got a chance. You know, and he's not going to kind of flush that chance away. So when he gets knocked on his head and ass in that Bills game
Buffalo
on
game.
last Sunday, which drew a flag no less, and he gets up and tries to walk, he cobble shakes his head. We've all been dinged a little bit before, like, whoa, whatever. He, does that and then he stumbles to the ground. I mean, Goat Killer and I are watching it. I'm like, oh, that's a concussion. He needs to get out of the game. And he was for like the end of the
20,
half.
about 20, 30 minutes or something
Right.
in real life.
And then he comes back out into the second half, and it's like, man, I'm not so sure about this. And so then we get into the game. Josh Tupou gets the only Bengal sack of the evening on a one, throw the ball away. Like, why are you holding the ball? This is not Alabama. But two, like, he didn't throw him down that hard. Did you think that was I'm not talking about rough passer. I'm just talking about just a tackle in general in the NFL.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was malicious. I mean, he had plenty of time to throw the ball somewhere, anywhere.
Throw it away, right? Yeah,
Right. But I mean, old boy did grab him, and it looked like he kind of gave up and just was just waiting to get. I mean, for the impact,
right.
but old boy did throw him down pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but it was a legit play. It was legal,
Yeah,
but that shit
nothing
happened.
wrong with it.
Yeah.
A roll tackle, I think, is the official term for that.
Right.
And he hits his head and neck on this thing, and then he goes limp, completely unconscious, does the thing with his fingers that, people call it the fencing
Shit.
position. I
Yeah.
mean, you've watched enough bum fights, Hutch,
Yeah.
that seen people get knocked out like that. And, I've never seen it with the fingers. You see like the stiff arms or whatever, but I've never seen that. And that was kind of freaky.
Yeah. I watched UFC fights. I watch boxing. I've seen motherfuckers get knocked the fuck out, and
Right.
shit, some motherfuckers still be punching on the ground.
Right. Yeah.
But he was
Mm-hmm.
out. He was, I mean, he was right, unconscious or whatever, but his body was, doing unconscious shit.
Right. So, I mean, again, I'm not a doctor. Don't play one on TV. I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. That nigga had a concussion
He had a concussion
on
on
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday. Like
Yep.
that, again, that was very obvious to me. Um, and so him plumbing back, and the whole thing, like, oh, it was his back. He had an ankle thing too. And like, you're literally telling us our eyes are lying to us. Like, that wasn't a back injury. That's clearly a neck and head injury, concussion.
You
And
wanted to win that game more than
right,
you cared about your player.
right. And that's what I'm saying. And Tua probably against his,
Better
you got to
judgment.
sometimes stop the player from
Right.
hurting themselves. They let him, go out there. And even at leading up to the game, I was like, he probably shouldn't play, but he's going to.
Right.
And, the worst case scenario happened on freaking live prime time streaming TV.
Right.
And, now all the, I just heard today or read, oh, the unaffiliated neurologist, they fired him today. I'm like, that's a fall guy.
Right.
The Dolphins are a shit run organization. I've lived here over the last however many years of my life. I've been here, what, 18 of the last 28 years in South Florida. Okay. It's a shit run organization. It has been for a very long time. It's just Miami, it's South Beach, it's whatever. Like, it's just a badly run organization. I cheer for the Bengals. I know a bad organization that's run when I see one, man, and the Dolphins are that. They just got money. Go ahead.
I'm about to say they got what 2 or 3 lawsuits going on right now. The
Correct.
black coach just got fired, and he filed
Yes.
discrimination. You
They
got
tried to do the sneaky link with
right
Tom Brady
Tom
and
Brady and lost a draft pick on
yep,
them
and got
shit.
caught.
Right,
Yep, and the owner got suspended for however many,
whatever
games
that
or
is.
whatever. Like,
Right,
I mean, yeah. It's a poorly run organization, and it has been for a while. But again, it's flashy. It's Miami. They got history, tradition, undefeated. People just skirt over that. But they also hadn't made the playoffs in what 20 plus years prior to the last couple. Like made it last year.
They made
It
a
was like
couple. They made a couple
like
years
like
ago,
that they
didn't
made
they?
it in set. I think that they made it in 2017, but they hadn't made it at that point before that for a very long time.
For a long, right? It's been a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a big deal. Okay. So Dolphins messed up big time. You already have somebody who I would call at this point injury prone, to for sure. And with him being injury prone, you probably shouldn't have rolled him out there. And
And
now,
he's slight.
right, and very slight. And now I made this prediction in the group chat or whatever. He ain't gonna play for the rest of the season. We've seen other dudes that have had less ridiculous concussions than that not come back and play. Who's that tight end that played for the Bengals that became a country singer?
Shit. Hell, I had you
Oh,
on
come
my
on.
concussion.
No, no, no. We signed him. Oh, geez.
What the
Come
fuck is
on.
that?
Hold on. Bengal tight end
It's a country
came
singer.
country singer. Oh, yeah. I don't know that he ever even played for us. Like we signed him, I think, from the Colts. Ben Utek.
Him?
Yeah, Ben Utek. I think he played for
He
the
plays for
Colts.
the. I think he played for the Colts. I think he
He
still plays
for
for
the
the Colts.
No, he retired from us.
He
Like from
did.
us. Yeah, he retired from us, man. He
I
played
don't
for the
remember.
Colts.
I don't remember him playing for us a minute. I remember that
Yeah.
name.
Professional career, signed as a free agent with the Colts, went to the Super Bowl with them, signed a $9 million deal over 3 seasons with the Bengals. Had a concussion at the start of 2009 season during practice and injured reserve, and he was released like a month after that with an injury settlement.
Shit,
Never played for the Bengals.
my brain, whatever. I don't
Fifth
remember
five
that.
five total concussions. Tua had 2 in 4 days.
Let's keep it 1,000. Shit, everybody that grew up in the 70s and 80s, we ain't see fucking a helmet for nothing
Right,
until we had kids, and I don't have any. So I know I've had at least 4 or 5 my damn self.
right.
So we all played college football. We all played street football. We all ran down the wrong road and head first, fell off bikes, and we're like, oh, just shake
Mm,
it off.
right. Yeah, but you can't be. He's $1 million investment for the team and in himself. I don't know that you could make that. You probably shouldn't have rolled him out there. Oh no, a standard. You're already 3-0. What taking that 3-1? If you wind up, hell, you might have even won with Jacoby Brissett, and who played better than him in the second half anyway. And you know, maybe or Teddy Bridgewater. I'm sorry, he used to be the backup for them. And
There he'd be back for
um,
everybody.
yes, that's true too. And so now you're still 3-1, and you probably lost your starter again. I'm saying for the season. I'm sure he'll probably go on the initial IR list
I
to be out
say
the 4 weeks, and
I
then
say at least
if he
4 weeks. Um,
cannot
whatever.
run him back out
But
there.
these. What's all the owners for the most part got in common in the NFL, except for maybe
Month?
one? Well, there's two things: old
Mm.
and white, and
Right.
all these, all they're getting called in the NBA, calling the N word, but they all the N word to the NFL owners too. And
Correct.
NFL
Yeah.
stands for not for long. And
Right.
right, so that right, just you're only as good as your last play.
Right. Yeah. Your availability is the biggest thing.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I'm very curious as to how it turns out, but it was a bad look for all involved, except for the Bengals fans who were respectful and cheering, and shouting his name as he was going off the field. There's no Philadelphia Eagles throwing snowballs at fucking Santa Claus
Batteries
shit.
and shit.
Yeah, none of that. So all right.
I mean, I hope he's okay. I hope he comes back and does what he does. And I wish nobody get hurt on anybody's team. It's a
Yeah.
violent
No,
sport,
there's no ill
and
will.
shit happens, and that's what happens.
No ill will to Tua, not at all. All right. But yeah, that game was billed as the first game between Tua and Joe Burrow. That was the Burrow Bowl, a couple years ago. The Goat Killer and I attended. where the Bengals had a furious comeback and almost fumbled away this number one draft pick by winning that game. So yeah,
Tua
just
could have been
weird.
our quarterback.
Yeah, Tua might have been. Well, you heard the rumors, right? That
What's that?
Mike Brown wanted Justin Herbert.
Herbert, damn, that was
Yeah,
yeah. And
he
he
wanted
playing
her.
hurt too, and stupid.
Yeah, he played terribly that he shouldn't have played either. Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So yeah, that's right. So I'm pretty sure the next couple of weeks, the NFL's reactionary. They'll come up with some new shit, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, I think our quarterback is going to be on that list too.
no, I definitely disagree. All right, so let's get into what we like and what we dislike. Again, the Bengals get to 2-2 miraculously, I guess. When it was definitely looking a little dire there, but to keep it 100, as you said, they could easily be 4-0 right now as well because
They
they had
should be.
chances to win both of those games and probably definitely should have won Pittsburgh, say for a fluke injury to the long snapper. I mean, what the hell? And in the Dallas game, they had the ball with under 2 minutes to go, and then wind up freaking messing it up and not getting a chance to actually go down and win. So, all right. What's some things? The dislike list is probably longer, so, what are some things you've liked at the start of the season here? 4 games in.
I mean, the wide receivers and the tight end, they're here to play. I mean, you can get the
Mm,
ball to them, they'll catch it and they'll yak and score from long distance.
right. Yeah.
The
Yeah. Hayden
the
Hurst is.
man, Hayden Hurst is a beast. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He had.
better. He's better than the last person that sat in that spot.
Well, he definitely had a good game on Thursday night. We were just replaying the Jets game and saw CJ Uzama on special teams. Your $6 million a year tight end. Who I think he had what, one catch versus the Bengals for
One
like
catch
three
for
yards,
3.
7
I
yards.
think it's 5 yards,
Yeah.
but whatever. Yeah,
5 yard, awful.
awful.
And no, I mean, again, you went from caviar and steak to steakums.
But right, well, you got
And
paid more though. But
yeah, but I mean, hey, whatever. It doesn't, obviously it
take
didn't
the
matter.
yeah, take the money and ruin it.
So, but yeah, yeah, and then the receivers again, like I said at the start, the coverage to Jamar, and he did look a little frustrated Thursday night. And you would, it doesn't seem like he's that kind of dude, but all wide receivers are that kind of dude.
He
Like he's
kind of
gonna
got a
want the
little
ball.
diva,
Yeah, he's gonna want the ball eventually because it affects his money as well. Again,
right?
if they're winning, he's not gonna say anything. But if it gets to that frustration point where they're losing and he's not getting the ball, he's going to automatically assume, and probably rightfully so a little bit, that if you got me the ball, we would win this game. So
I mean, yes, sir. You're right.
every wide receiver believes that.
Right. He will do the right. I'm a star.
Yeah,
My Q rating is. I need this shit. I need to do my new dance move. So yeah.
yes, correct. So I mean, and again, he's got 2 touchdowns in these 4 games or 3 touchdowns,
He
something like
got
that. I
two.
think he's got two. Yeah, he's got 2 touchdowns. He
He's
had one against the Steelers and then one against the Jets.
25 receptions out of 41 targets, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns.
So what's the average catch per catch there?
About
25 and 2 9.
11.7.
So that for him, that's low.
That's real low.
Yeah, he's a 15, 17 yard per catch dude.
Now,
Um,
can we talk about that other dude?
T. Higgins,
T. Higgins is going to ask for big
absolutely a
money.
beast. They've already decided they were going to pay them. That this is not an issue. They already have made.
How they going for two $15 million plus wide receivers
They're both going to be
when it
making.
comes up?
They're going to be making more than $15 million.
Exactly. I'm
And
saying.
but they've already. I mean, again, Mike Brown at his press conference said at the yearly thing, we're having to figure out how to pay Joe T and whatever like that. He's already spoken. They'll have to figure out the money. Like they're gonna pay him. He's getting paid by the Bengals. He's not going anywhere. That's not happening. So,
but yeah, I mean, yeah, Mr. Higgins is he is a franchise wide receiver too.
oh no, it's not. You have a 1A 1B situation over there,
Shit, one
and
double A.
because of his size, strength, and speed, it just looks ridiculous at
He makes
times.
it look easy.
Yeah, and we're telling the Go Killer or whatever, like And he lasted to the top of the second round because they said he was slow. What happened to that? I mean, he's been killing it since he came back from that injury last season. He's just been killing it, killing it.
And it's not CB3 or 4, it's CB
No,
one
exactly.
and
Yeah, that was on
CB2.
Xavier Howard. And that was
Yeah,
on Xavier Howard that
right.
night. That was their strategy to bracket chase under and over the top and leave their, Pro Bowl, all pro corner on him.
Shit,
And
top
he
100 player.
and beat him like a drum.
Yeah,
So, that comes after, call it the penalty or whatever, him beating Jalen Ramsey like a drum in the Super Bowl too.
right,
So, and freaking Jamar beating Jalen Ramsey like a
right.
drum. But anyway,
So,
yeah. So
so it right.
there's nobody you're gonna put over there that's gonna be better than him.
Oh, and the back. I mean, and Tyler Boyd, who would
Yeah.
start for most teams, maybe be their number one.
Mhm.
That mofo can also get it, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, offensively, the wide receivers and the tight ends that are definitely doing their bit. I mean, you can't say anything without talking about the defense. They have carried this team dramatically here. Over the again, they've
I'll
given up.
let me do my thing. Logan Wilson, I
Yeah.
called you a slow white quarterback or a
Yeah.
linebacker that
Yeah.
can't do what I mean. Just you just
A
tackle somebody
beast.
5 yards down the field,
He's a
whatever.
beast.
What he's
Yep.
legit.
He is legit for sure. And now we lose DJ Reader for a minimum of 4 weeks, probably much longer than that. You know, but the defense gave up what 23 points in an overtime game, 20 points in another game. What did they give up to the Jets?
12.
12, and then what in 15. I mean, those are winnable games, even if your offense is struggling, which they are. It shouldn't even be that close because they
Right.
haven't gotten into a situation where, just turn the defense loose and just let them whatever because we're up by, 18. Just hadn't gotten to that point. Slow starts for Trey Hendrickson, although he's got 2.5 sacks now. Pass three sacks. Thank you. Pass rush is a little bit slower paced, I think, maybe than last year. Although I think that picked up later in the year, maybe not all together at the top, but overall, and we got to give him his due. Eli Apple is playing very well. He's not giving up, these huge chunk plays or whatever. He's actually playing really well. There's not, you can't really, dude. You can say all you want. The scores tell you otherwise.
He is the weak link in that cornerback field.
The scores say otherwise.
His
So,
yards say otherwise.
but again, they've made their. This is since last season. It's y'all can move the ball between the 20s, but then they stiffen up at the inside the 20. They stiffen up completely and they hold people to field goal. It's the only way they can win games because the offense hasn't done it, scoring enough points. That's what they do. So yeah, you might get in between the 20s there. It's just like when they got that long bomb to the cheetah or whatever and got it inside the 5, and then they wind up giving up a field goal. They shut it down. So yeah, I'm good. Hold on, dude. What are you doing? Ugh, Louise, don't burn your feet. All right. So that's a like. That's the only thing I had for my likes though. Just the defense. I got a long list of dislikes. Um, I don't even know where to start.
Well,
I'll start.
you
I'll
forgot one like
what?
the field goal kicker.
Yeah, he's a given anymore though, isn't
But
he?
you got to give it to him.
I
He's
guess.
legit. I mean, he right. If we can have this, if the fucking snapper is not dead, then he'll make the field
Yeah.
goal. He'll win the game for us, or at
Right.
least whatever, tie the game or take the lead. The punter,
So yeah, he had a bad punt on Thursday.
yeah.
Um. So I'm gonna just jump off the top and say it. My first dislike is Joe Burrow. Um,
Ooh.
first 2 games or the first 2 weeks, get rid of the ball, man. The offensive line is not great. Nobody's saying that it is, but we're falling into that. Oh, I can get away, I can escape and extend all these plays. It's the NFL, man. You not Lamar Jackson. You not. You are able to extend plays when you can, but not all the time. And you need to, be able to go stick your foot in the ground and throw the freaking ball. That's it. stop going through all of that. And as if you're watching on YouTube, I just pulled it up. There's 16 total sacks. But again, what 12 of them came in the first 2 weeks?
13.
13. So yeah, I mean he's doing okay there. But yeah, he just and again, you've seen it the last 2 weeks. Less sacks. He's come out, throw the ball away, or like get rid of it quick. All of those types of things. Like he's fine in that regard. And I think he's just kind of starting to realize that as for whatever reason, soft cover two has become like this boogeyman for Joe Burrow that they've never seen it or played against it before. And instead of killing the ball underneath since you can't run it, throwing it to tight ends, Tyler Boyd or whatever, he was still trying to force the ball and throwing interceptions like that, like he did in game one. So yeah, he started to play better. I'm sure that he will, but yeah, off the top, that was my first thing. And what dislike do you have besides the offensive line?
I was going to not mighty Joe Mixon.
Okay, yeah, the running, but are we blaming? Well, yeah, we can blame Joe Mixon and the offensive line, but yes, Joe Mixon definitely needs to stick his foot in the ground and hit the holes too,
Right,
instead of
dancing.
bouncing and dancing. Right,
Right. But I think he might have Pavlov. He just used to try to dodge people in the backfield, and he just starts dodging
right,
people. He's seeing ghosts sometimes.
right. I don't know if it's that because he had this issue since he was drafted, and I told you about this thing before,
Did you
about
find
where
it?
Where Marvin Lewis when he was drafted or when he first started, when he came in as a rookie, and I'm trying to find the quote here, um, that Marvin was just like, yeah, he just needs to go hit the holes and stop trying to dance around. And this is the same thing. He's constantly trying to cut things back instead of just taking like, oh, okay, I could get 4 yards here and then live another down. But he tries to bounce it to the outside and then it winds up getting two. And now we're in these long,
-2.
long second. Yeah, you know what I mean. So like, it's just weird. Like, just hit the hole, man. But again, they aren't big holes there,
There
and so
ain't.
he's thinking. And again, he, much like Joe Burrow too. Like, oh, it's just like college. I can just bounce it. You can't bounce it, man. You can't bounce it. It's the NFL. You're not gonna be able to bounce it all the time. So yeah, that's a good dislike. I
Um,
got play calling as one of my dislikes as well.
I was gonna say
This
coaching. Yeah,
Yeah, this goes back to Zach Taylor's just flunky play calling, man. Like, I mean, give it up for Mike McDaniels or whatever. Like, the Dolphins' offense looks fluid and like crisp or whatever. They have two hugely really good wide receivers, and most certain is a good running back or whatever. But their offensive line is
garbage.
as shaky as ours, and they're
Worse.
able to get yeah, they're able to get into plays.
they
You
they were
know, you
getting
see
pancaked.
Yeah, you see dudes running open, like oh okay, like like it seems like every Bengal catch is a contested catch, and you have two really good dudes at contesting catches, but why are not people just flat out running open? Like I just don't see it ever, like not ever, but rarely you see it,
It's too
and
rare.
yeah, and then it's the coaching, the play calling, them second down runs, man, on 2nd and 8, they just kill me.
Oh,
Like they just absolutely kill me. Like,
I
oh
thought,
my God, stop.
uh.
Stop running the ball on 2nd and 8, man.
If I see another fucking jet sweep for negative something yards,
Yeah, I'm not a big
them
fan of
fucking
them
plays
jet
are
sweeps
horrible
either.
too.
Yeah. And then, at some point here, you're gonna have to chase the ball before he becomes like, why are you not getting me the ball person? Start doing things. I mean, hell, Randy Moss is maybe the greatest wide receiver of all time. I'm sure he saw every single coverage ever. They didn't stop people from getting him the ball. He got the fucking ball. So I know he's not the physical athlete that he is, because Randy Moss
Not
was
yet.
6'4" or whatever. Well, he was like 6'4" or whatever.
All right.
But shit, get him the ball, line him up in the slot, like, do something to get him the
Triplets,
ball,
something.
yeah, something, man. To like do something to get him the ball. For him only having like, but in the same breath, he should have scored. That was not a great ball by Joe Burrow at the end of that game. The Harris
Yeah,
wound up
yeah,
getting the
that's
touchdown. He puts it out in front of it. He
right.
scored.
Right. Yeah, that was. I was gonna say that too. Yeah, his
Well,
yards after catch are really low. I mean, he should have been. He
Right.
really got that dude smoked on that one play. He should have scored on that
Yeah.
guy. And like he slowed down for
Hmm.
that other dude to catch him.
He had to wait for the ball. Yeah, it was an
Right,
Andy Dalton special. Yeah,
right.
and
And he runs
yeah,
out of bounds on plays too. I mean, it catches the ball, he gets all 2 feet down, whatever, and then he runs out of bounds instead of cutting it upfield. Run the shit.
right. Yeah, I just yeah, yeah, they need to get him the ball. The play calling is suspect at best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's really all I had, but that's enough. Everything's pretty much on the offensive side of the ball. You know, you have way too many weapons to be clunking and struggling here. And as we get into the last part of the podcast here is the schedule ahead. You know, Marvin Lewis gave us this, playing the season in quarters when there were 16 games. There's an extra game now. So, but if you look at the next 4 games, this coming Sunday night, 2 prime timers back to back. By the way, the Bengals in their last, I think, whatever primetime games are 6-1. Uh,
You
so
count the
that
Super
including
Bowl?
the playoff, yeah, including the playoffs and whatever. And Super Bowls they only lost, correct? So, um, so yeah, I think that myth is gone. Well, the lights get big, and those, Clemson, LSU, like they know big lights. None of that's going to be too big for them. Whereas it definitely was too big for Andy Dalton, and TCU fame. So next Sunday night at the Ravens, going to be a big game. Ravens have a big game here coming up against Buffalo tomorrow.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, who lost this game that they shouldn't have lost to Miami last Sunday, and I think it is in Baltimore. But
It is at
I watched that
Baltimore.
game with the Dolphins. Well, I watched that Dolphins and Ravens game. Ravens defense
That's you know
ass
what?
awful.
Okay, can I tell you something? Tomorrow or
I'm
well,
listening.
yeah, tomorrow's will be one of the most chillax days I've had in a long time.
Yeah,
There's nothing
yeah,
better
we
than
feel the same way.
watching Sunday football. Knowing you already got a win in the pocket.
Right. Yeah. That's always fun. You can watch it all relaxed. You two worried about your fantasy team, not
Right.
me. So yeah, so at Baltimore, going to be a tough game. Tomorrow's playing really well. He's got at least one serviceable wide receiver right now, and then their tight end is an absolute killer. So, they're going to score some points. You ain't holding them to probably 17, 12, and 15 and 20. Probably
Right.
not. But,
Probably not.
you're going to need to score some points to win that game. But, in that situation, the best defense is a good offense. Because if you're going down and scoring, it puts pressure on them to score consistently. And, that hasn't been Lamar's forte.
And
But
their defense is what has been porous, and they continue to be
yes,
porous. So
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I mean they let the Dolphins absolutely abuse them at home, no less. So yeah, I mean Tua threw 6 touchdowns in that game, and in the other 3 games he has 3. So maybe we want to calm down about Tua turning the corner there as well. All right. So yeah, we got that, and then at New Orleans, you called it the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase
Homecoming.
homecoming game. I'm calling it, which is potentially we're going to have the Andy Dalton Bowl #2. Uh,
Man.
because Jameis is out this week, and it seems to be that it might be a little bit of a linger. Is it a 2 week linger? Who knows? But he's definitely not playing this week. Michael Thomas also out again this particular week, so who knows what they'll have there. Ohio State wide receiver Chris Olave balling out though a little bit, so should be a pretty good game. Obviously, it'll be a raucous crowd over there.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be an
But
interesting one. As
but
I
Chase
told
and Burrow should be having lots of fun.
Well, when I told you when we talked about this earlier, though, also the NFL hates the Bengals. This schedule at the start, it's not necessarily the teams, but they're like y'all are getting all y'all road games in. We don't give a fudge because these 3 of the next 4 are on the road.
Yeah.
Okay, after the first 4, it was what 2-2, yeah,
Yeah.
2-2. So yeah, it's that's rough. After that, hey, it's the freaking who they over
It's the
40 reunion. It's at the Falcons at home in Cincinnati. Falcons, they're playing better than you would think.
they are well coached, but they are understaffed or they have under athletes.
Undermanned. Yeah,
Right, very under athleted
yep,
or undermanned. And
yep.
so yeah, you got right there, right. You can beat them on the field.
Yeah, they'll keep it close, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're definitely not great. And then at the Browns in another prime time tilt as well. Um, at Cleveland, Cleveland is what 1-2 right now, or
Two
two
and
and
one.
one, 2-1 after they had an absolute collapse against the Jets before the Bengals beat them, an absolute collapse. And Yeah, and they, run the ball. They're averaging 190 yards on the ground. Run the
Yeah.
ball, man. Run the ball. That's it. We're just gonna keep running the ball, and you're gonna have to stop it. And that's gonna be probably one of the first games where we're gonna be like, damn, if DJ Reader ain't back and playing, then we're gonna really miss him because
Yeah.
that's a game that you really need. All your stout defensive tackles and whatnot. But yeah, that's not a great four to start here.
Nope.
I'm
Two in the
not making no
division.
predictions. Yeah, I'm not making no predictions after what happened this past weekend or the past 4 weeks, but you definitely need to come out of this at least 400 or 400 or 500. And
You,
if you
you
don't,
gotta you gotta win them two. You gotta win a couple of them division games. You gotta win both these division games.
right, yeah, the
You
division
can't.
games will
You're
make the
playing with
most
three
sense.
in the division. You ain't winning the division. And
Right now, you're wild carding.
right.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Again, it did look like they kind of turned the corner a little bit Thursday night in terms of the offense, and now they get this mini bye to kind of get themselves better moving forward. But we got to see some offensive improvement here, for sure. All right.
Uh,
Let's swing it around the AFC North. We kind of touched on it a little bit. Let's start with the Steelers, the bottom of the division. They're bad. They're bad. They offensively, they're just a bad team. They're what, 1-2.
one and
The only
two.
one being against the Bengals, but
Mm,
I mean they
but,
lost
but but
to
they
the
lost
Patriots.
everything to do it
Yeah, they lost to the Patriots, and then they lost last week
to
to
the
the
Browns. They got stomped by
Browns.
the Browns.
Stomped on Thursday night, right? They play the Jets this week. Is it in Pittsburgh?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, okay. It's in Pittsburgh. They do get the return of Zach Wilson for the Jets. I don't think that means absolutely anything.
Wait a
You
minute.
know, yeah,
No,
Zach
I'm sorry.
Wilson.
It's a wait. Wait a minute. The Jet. It's at Pitt. Yeah, it's at Pittsburgh. Yeah, at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's at Pittsburgh. And so, yeah, the Jets.
Schittsburg. Excuse me, Schittsburg.
Yeah. So, I would imagine what's the line on that? They probably gave Pittsburgh
They're a
either
three and a
pick them or
half.
plus 3.5. That's
Three and a
that's
half.
disrespect. Yep. That's disrespect to the Jets. But the Jets aren't very good. So we'll see what happens there. I already touched on the Ravens. Well, we were the other team. We'll touch on the Cleveland now. The Cleveland Browns, they play the Falcons. Is that in Atlanta or in Cincinnati
That's
or
in
in
Atlanta.
Cleveland?
In
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta.
That's a better chance for them for the Falcons to win. We'll have to see what happens. But
Garrett is out.
Miles Garrett is out after crashing and rolling his Porsche. I wonder if he would be out if Tua doesn't get hurt.
Right. That's yeah. So right this week, everybody that you think might be out will probably be out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then the Ravens, and again they're playing the Bills,
The
hosting the
Bills.
Bills.
This is a
I
very
mean,
serious kill.
it's
This
a
this is the best game
playoff
of the week
preview.
supposedly.
Yeah,
What? Well, Tampa Bay and
right.
Kansas City. Yeah, might be good too.
Well, the Bill, I don't know how good Tampa Bay is right now, but the Bills defense has been a little beat up. So and
Yeah.
then thank goodness they got the extra days off because that game against the Dolphins was rough on
Yeah.
all involved.
But one more,
And it
but we
just
also have Josh Allen is Tony Romo.
yeah, he's getting there. He might be a little choky on the big moments here. Yeah, it might be a team thing too, but yeah, we're gonna see. This is a good game. It may, eventually, what will make me laugh at some point in time on the commentary in that game is when they praise uh Josh Allen for running and then criticize Lamar for it. So that will be my moment,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's going to happen, and I'm just gonna just shake my head because it's whiteness. But
Well, yeah, right. This is also black quarterback week because
yeah,
all the real good quarterbacks are up against really good white quarterbacks, and they're
yeah,
already black quarterbacks are already 0-1.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I mean, we're cheering for Buffalo here. Like we need the
Oh yeah,
Ravens to lose.
we definitely want. We're all. I'm a biggest Falcon fan this week.
Yeah,
I'm a big fucking Jets fan
Jets.
this week, and
Yep.
I'm a big Buffalo fan this week.
Yeah, we're good on that. So okay, but yeah, that's pretty much it. We could be back. Oh,
Well,
well, actually, that's on
yeah.
Sunday night football. So yeah, I don't know about that next Sunday. It's Sunday night football. That's a recording at midnight kind of situation.
Well, if we win, whatever. If we
Yeah, I
lose,
ain't gonna be up anyway. But yeah, go
oh
ahead.
yeah. we
What,
will. Yeah, no Negro spiritual. We will see. But
what were you gonna say?
I'm glad we're 2-2. And
It
hey,
was
at the worst, we're third place.
yeah, it was dicey initially for sure. It
Right.
just like the way it happened, I think was probably
At the
more than
worst, we're
anything.
fourth place. But yeah.
So yeah, that's all good. All right.
Oh, and
So
one thing was one super duper really bad we forgot to mention,
mm,
Mr. Jackson.
Jackson
Or
Carmen. Oh yeah,
yeah,
but I mean, why do we need to mention him? He ain't playing. He was a healthy scratch the
he's a
last 2 weeks. You know, like
he's on special teams, ain't he?
Jackson Carmen ain't playing at all, sir. He's inactive last 2 weeks.
What?
Yep,
Anyway,
Max
well,
Sapping.
yeah. Anyway, he did play week one, I'm sure. But yes,
Yep.
that mofo has
Yeah.
been a big giant. He might be the biggest disappointment.
Since Drew Sample, who's
Uh,
actually out for the year with a knee injury himself. So yeah, Jackson Carmen didn't play the last 2 weeks, inactive on the inactive list. And then I
so
think in week one, I don't know that he played. If he had some snaps, it was few,
he
but
was
he
on
had
special teams.
what on field goal
Yeah,
coverage?
that's right.
Or
On offensive snaps. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, he's not playing. No, he will not play unless somebody gets hurt.
Ugh.
I saw him on the sideline with his sunglasses on, and he had on some nice threads. That's where he is right now, and that's where he's going to stay unless somebody gets hurt. So
Damn.
he's done. I mean,
Damn, he was inactive.
why would I make it up?
I just had he sucks. Apparently, yeah. He played on special teams on week 1 and 2, and that's it. Fuck.
Hmm. Yep.
Damn. $2 million sitting on the sideline.
Second round pick is probably the bigger issue. So
Fuck.
money isn't it? Because money is irrelevant. Mm.
Now
So yeah.
we need to pay the motherfuckers. But yeah, yes, sir.
All right. So we got exit music.
Shit. Fair Weather Friend by Johnny Gill. Fair Weather Fans.
Man, okay. I'm fine with that. Look, I'm too old. Freaking Danny Glover myth or gift. I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
I can't be investing that kind of time and energy. You know,
Right. I understand.
but we will get some Johnny Gill coming out here. If you're on the podcast side of this, you'll hear it on the play out. But yeah, we will hopefully be back late Sunday night or a Monday afternoon, evening with a winning recap podcast. About Baltimore, and we'll see where it goes from there. But hopefully they turn the corner. I've unmuted my freaking Bengal people on Twitter, so I'm slowly dipping my toes back into the water. But
Right.
this could still be shark infested, so we might be pulling back for
Yeah,
sure.
we got
Uh,
like we gotta go 3-1. I don't know how, but it'd be
yeah.
nice.
And shouts out if I mean I've been to Southwest Florida before. It's right down on the 75 corridor. So there's a ton of people from Ohio and Cincinnati over there. So if you somehow are listening to this and were affected by that hurricane, Godspeed, God bless you, and hopefully with God's help, y'all can get some semblance of your lives back, because that's been a rough moment for everybody living on that side of the state. So, all right, Johnny Gill playing us out. I'm the producer of this podcast, as you can find on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. I'm out with Johnny Gill, by far the most underrated member of freaking New Edition. By far,
Well, yeah,
by far,
yeah. I
it's
mean,
not
but
even
he
close.
had a nice career before New Edition, or
Correct.
yeah,
And he has one with LSG after New Edition, like,
yeah,
that did a really good job as well.
yeah.
Like honestly, he's in a situation where New Edition at this point, again, they're still old men at this point, but they would need him more than he needs them
Oh,
at
well,
this point.
most definitely.
So yeah, he really doesn't need that stress and trauma that I mean, I know we got that BET New Edition movie, but their story is probably worthy of a feature film presentation.
It should be damn. It should be worse than NWA.
Man, yeah, I agree. Yeah, F. Gary Gray, you need to work on that script because, whew, oh god,
They fighting on the stage, drugs.
yes, drugs, baby mamas, it's just a
Right,
mess. And that ain't just Bobby. Like it's
right.
all,
It's
well,
all of them.
essentially
Right.
all of them.
They all
Yeah,
catch. They all
yeah.
get the itching
Except for
scratchies.
Ronnie. Well, except for Ronnie. Ronnie's like he was. I mean, that New Edition movie said that he was just, hey,
He
he
was
was just
just
hanging
there.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, hey, here you go. But yeah, that should be a good one. And real quick, and this is a God I miss female perspective moment. This new Whitney Houston movie that's coming out. That's it's a producer is one of the people that's related to her, and then the other one is Clive. And
Uh,
I'm like, oh, this is gonna be some glossy shit here. They glossing
oh,
over for sure.
yeah.
Because them
Well,
other ones that they made, those the not the Lifetime one or whatever, but the biographies that they've done, or the what is that I'm talking about biography? Can't think now. But the ones that they've
like,
done, documentaries that they've done have not been a good light here. Like
right.
they're just not painting her in a good light. And I think this is to try to reclaim a little bit of the Whitney magic here.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah. And I and Whitney wasn't. She lived here in Atlanta, and unfortunately, every time you heard about her, it was usually something bad was going down. So, or at least in the last couple of years.
yeah,
So, yeah.
I got a new rule. No documentaries I'm gonna watch where the star of its family or themselves are a producer. Because
Um.
it's right. You're only gonna get all the good stuff, like that Derek Jeter thing with the whole ass glorified piece, Tom Brady, and
Oh, and
even
Michael Jordan shit
and
too.
yeah, that Bulls one too. Like it's all bullshit. Like you're
Yep.
not getting the true story here. So yeah, no more.
Yeah.
I need them unauthorized documentaries, man.
Well.
I need the real tea. Spill that real tea.
Well, you know the realty because you lived through it.
I understand that, but I want all the other details that I didn't hear. So no
Yeah.
more. If it's like, oh,
Well.
wait, who's the producer? Him? Nah, we can't watch that. Can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, that Richard Pryor movie has been struggling to come out, and he
Yeah,
might not make it by the time that shit come out. And but you know that's
yeah,
all full of stuff.
yeah. Oh, well, if his ex-wife or his daughter have anything to do with it, it's all cap. So, all right. Johnny Gill playing us out, y'all. We'll see y'all on the other side. I'm the producer. Peace. Hutch sign out.
Peace.
We'll see y'all hopefully in a week with a dub. Peace.